Okay, we're gonna do it this way. Hello, everybody. Hi. That kind of worked, actually. I'm surprised. So we're gonna just pick up where we left off. Let me see if I can go over to. Hmm. Oh my God, it worked. You guys, it freaking worked. So Sarah in the comments had a brilliant idea. She was like, "Why don't you change the name of the live stream?" And that instantly worked. Give me 1 second. Hold on, you guys. Hold that thought. All right. Okay. And we're back. It's bright AF. So I'm gonna just switch things up. Try that. Holy crap. Okay, it really did work. That was genius. Okay, so I think we can officially determine, at least I can, that they're totally watching the algorithms for keywords. We knew that, but I really needed to know that. So here we are. Also, StreamYard was giving me a harder time than YouTube itself. So it says turn down your lighting. They say turn down your lighting. Is it too bright? Let's see here. Is that better? Is that okay? All right. Oh, systems check. All right. So does everything look good? Are we 5 for 5, guys? Close the curtain. Who do you people think you are telling you what to do? Fine, I'll do it. Okay. Is that better? Okay. So we're on it. We're doing it. This is it. This is as good as it's going to get right now. And okay. All right. We're good. There's no bright, shiny light behind me or in front of me. I've got my cards. I moved closer to my router and everything. Oh man, it's just tough living in 2023 and being technologically quite slow. But I am very fortunate to have so many smart people. He was just checking to see if you had pants on. Yeah, well, it's Sunday, so you know, it's pants optional, but I really wanted to get in here and take a look at some things with you guys. It's been one hell of a freaking couple of weeks. We're just coming off of spring break here in Charlotte County, Florida. So I have been a little bit, very busy with no school and everything, having to entertain my daughter and take care of that. I really haven't had time to be super on top of the headlines. You guys know how I feel about it. I more or less don't pay too much attention. I don't pay nearly as much attention to the political dog and pony show as I used to. It simply doesn't serve me the way that it once did. I've been paying a lot more attention to earth changes and natural phenomenon that's been taking place. I've been paying a lot closer attention to that. But for the sake of everybody that is still very much involved and interested in how the dog and pony show, the Kabuki theater, is playing out, I definitely wanted to contribute my skill set and consult with the cards to try to figure out what's really going on. And so that's what we're doing here today. So thank you to everybody who has subscribed to my Patreon and been really patient with me this past week. I wasn't able to do any videos this past week. However, I was able to type up some personalized readings over on my Patreon. So those are done in the format when I can't do a video, or for whatever reason, if it just doesn't work out to where I'm in front of the camera doing a reading, I'll type them up. And so the format there is you choose a card, whatever is most visually appealing to you, whatever your first instinct is, what you're drawn to first. And I'll use some kind of crystal or pendant or talisman. And then I would just ask you to be intuitively guided to whichever stone, pendant, crystal, and card. And then I'll give it about 12 hours. And then I will post those readings, card A, B, or C later. And those, everybody really seems to like those. So while they're not, they're not videos, most people can read. So there's, a little bit more effort on your part, but it actually, believe it or not, guys, I'm a better writer than I am speaker. So you guys might like it. So check out my Patreon. I put the link in the description. I am offering $17 monthly subscriptions or $25 monthly subscriptions, and you can expect lots of personalized readings over there. So what are we talking about today? It is Sunday. It's the Lord's Day. It's pants optional. I wanted to tackle some real stuff here, but I also really just wanted to chill with you guys and kind of just, touch base and see how everybody's doing. I'm going to try to be careful with my keywords here, but you guys know how that goes. That probably won't last very long. Let's see. We have 58 people in the chat. Thank you, 58 people, for joining me here on this beautiful Sunday. I just realized here, because I'm sitting at my kitchen counter, and I have a sink, half a sink of dishes, and I'm wondering if you can see my dirty dishes through the reflection of my my glasses here. Well, that would be something, wouldn't it? It's Sunday. I'll catch up with my chores later. All right, guys. So first things first, the banking crisis. Anybody who was paying any attention, Silicon Valley crumbled. A lot of their investors in Silicon Valley, they kind of just ate shit the past couple of weeks. And so we saw a lot of drama on the West Coast pertaining to people's ability to withdraw funds. Okay, so I think what's important to know here is that when in this context, I believe that this was not in any way accidental or coincidental. I think that this was strategically, I think that this was anticipated by specific parties. And in that sense, it really only came as a shock to some people. Please remember, too, that the headlines, especially the big ones like this, are designed to provoke and incite a very specific set of emotional responses from the populace. So the idea that, oh God, the pressure is on, everybody run to your bank and withdraw as much cash money as you can, I can't help but feel that that is exactly what they wanted us to do, is to kind of gridlock us within this mindset of scarcity and lack, which, as we all know, we don't make the best decisions when we are operating from a place of scarcity or lack or fear. And if you've paid attention for this, long, you likely have done, and if you haven't done a whole bunch of financial preparation, that's okay. I'm not here to scold you or anything. It is what it is. But a lot of people have been stacking precious metals. They are, they might not have a whole lot of cash on hand, but what they do have is they have good drinking water. They've got seeds, they've got ammo, they have firearms, and they have a sense of tribe community. If you have any of those things, any combination of those things, you're going to be okay. We don't need cash to live. Okay. I believe that we're in a phase of the Great Awakening where people's illusions are being pretty dramatically ripped away. And so even the idea that of how, how much we have had, or sort of the American idea of grandiose and luxury and excess. I really think that collectively we're learning that that was ultimately to a path to dissatisfaction in general. How many times could you say, that you really didn't realize how much you had until you had nothing anymore? I know that that has happened to me. I've been put on my ass because I was um, exuding traits of dissatisfaction, or being ungrateful, or being a little too big for my britches. Then the universe shows you really how you can survive on far less, and certainly less than perfect circumstances. Humans are still very able to thrive, and I happen to believe that by inducing this kind of jolting reality, that holy shit, maybe our delusions of grandeur and excess and luxury, all of these qualities that we have put on the dollar, the USD, it's all been an illusion. And I think it can only serve us collectively to come to an understanding that, it's not that we all have to be okay with living poor. It's not about rich and poor, but it is about energy, and it is about information and knowledge, and what do we really need. And you guys know I'm like the furthest thing from a Marxist or a communist or a socialist. I don't believe in, bare minimum living. I don't believe that what's mine is yours and vice versa. I don't believe that. I just believe that we are at a stage where people are going to come to the conclusion that a lot of what they thought was true value was not valuable at all. And that can be a very painful process if you are far removed from what the concept of true value really is. If then we deal with that a lot. We're surrounded by people that have a false sense of true value. So here we are. People are freaking out because, they're realizing that banks don't actually have all of this money. Oh my God, you mean I can't just access $50,000 today? You mean it's going to take longer than 3 to 5 business days? Wait, you mean you have to make calls because my funds are frozen? So this is just a big wake up call for people, which I think is really only a good thing. Let's take a look and see if the banks are going to be bailed out, because I guess that's ultimately the question. Let's see. And if you guys would do me a favor, I do think it would be helpful if you guys held that question or that inquiry within your own fields as well. If that's what we're wanting to ask here. What will the solution, if any, be for these banks that are under extreme pressure at this time? Or, alternatively, because what everybody really wants to know is this it, Jenny? Is this it? Is this the banking collapse? Is this the big one? Let's see. Uncross your legs. The village must uncross thy legs, Lees. I call legs, Lees. So uncross your legs, Lees, village. Feet flat on the ground. If you're wearing shoes, that's okay. Just uncross them legs, Lees. And your ankles. Okay. 88 people in the chat. Ace of Cups. Ace of Cups. Ace of Cups. Ace of Cups. Ace. I don't know why I'm doing that or where that came from. I'm sorry. So the Ace of Cups is, in fact, a proposal, okay? So there is some kind of new agreement, new arrangement Traditionally, when we're talking about the Ace of Cups, we are certainly talking about something new. So this doesn't speak to a continuation of anything. Rather, this speaks to some kind of new proposal. Now, something I would make note of here, because this is a cup card and the aces are very, they have a big punch with them. It's like a very concentrated sort of essence of that element. In this case, the cups, which is an emotional energy. I think that this broke a lot of hearts. I don't know how else to say it except that the emotional ramifications of this particular crisis have been so overwhelming that I think that there's there's an opportunity here for major players to possibly make some mistakes or kind of co-sign on something that maybe under other circumstances they wouldn't, because there's such an emotional investment here. This scares the shit out of people. Like this has shooketh, absolutely shooketh the people. Let's see. If anybody here has any like suggestions about specifically how you think you would word the question, feel free to put it in the chat there and I will look at it and see if it's how we want to word it here. I can't help but, think about this whole Trump announcement. He says he's going to be arrested on Tuesday. It's like, okay, let's see. Let's ask the cards. I just pulled the 5 of Cups and the 8 of Swords here, which is a really shitty combination, not gonna lie. These are actually 2 of like the darker energies in the card pertaining to things like trauma, a whole lot of loss. There's loss associated here. And then the 8 of Swords is actually a classic card of imprisonment. So I want to be very careful. All right, let's see. Let's just jump right on into it. We have 98 people in the chat. Happy Sunday to all of you fine people from wherever you are coming in from, wherever you're tuning in from. Hello, 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 and welcome. Take a seat, uncross your legs, take some deep breaths. You can have your legs crossed if you want. That's okay. Let's see. All right. Is Trump going to be arrested? Now, let's keep in mind, terms like indicted, arrested. These are all terms that are in accordance to man's law. And I think when we're dealing with what we're dealing with here in the Great Awakening, there is a very distinct division between God's law and man's law. And so here, within the context of a potential arrest for Donald Trump, I believe that the terms we are using are contained within the jurisdiction of man's law. So this is not real. This isn't real. It's real in the sense that, we can see it, we can hear it, and there may be some kind of visual, even documented evidence to support this narrative. But I do not believe that that is what makes something real anymore. I just don't believe it. I believe that this is all a show. I think this is all an act. So with all that being said, will we witness what appears to be DJT 45 getting arrested / indicted / arrested this Tuesday, right around the equinox? You guys, there's no coincidences here. This is the true new year right now. We have the Lovers. We have the 2 of Pentacles. We have the 8 of Wands, the 8 of Pentacles, and the 6 of Swords. So all of the eights came to the party. Okay. All of the eights came to the party, which traditionally this is actually a show of strength. This is a show of force, all of it. This is posturing. The lovers, with the six Gemini energy, I believe Trump is a Gemini. This doesn't, Eight of Wands, Eight of Pentacles doesn't speak to any kind of imprisonment, but we know even if we were to witness what appeared to be an arrest, the man will spend no time behind bars. We know that, this is an act after all, and he's not about that life. So I don't see clink clink type of energy here. Okay, I just don't. Let's see. What I do have with the lovers and the Two of Pentacles. So the lovers right here and the Two of Pentacles, the lovers is definitely some kind of behind the scenes agreement or partnership, because this is traditionally a card of binding contracts and agreements. And then the Two of Pentacles, anybody that knows anything about the tarot, this is one of the most easy to recognize archetypes within the minor arcana, because it's literally of somebody juggling. Okay. Anytime I think about what's going on with this, I think clown show immediately. Like, this whole thing to me is a circus. It is absolutely a circus. So when I see the lovers, which is the twins, it's two, and then I see the Two of Pentacles, which is yet another two, this whole thing looks like a diversion. Look over here while we do something behind the scenes. Do you know what I mean? Six of Swords is very much, implying that this is a rite of passage. So this coming week has been planned. It had to happen this way. Eight of Wands, Eight of Pentacles. This is certainly going to yield a great deal of fire energy within the collective. So I see, while everybody is talking about it and everybody's attention is fixated on it, there does appear to be something else in the background that is sort of cycling its way back to the forefront of the collective. So it's like 2 weeks from now, it's going to be something completely different. Like, mark my words about that. 2 weeks from now, it's going to be something completely different. If I understand correctly, cards aside for just a moment, if I understand correctly, Trump was talking in his announcement. He mentioned people protesting on his behalf. I'd be interested to know how you guys feel about that. They're comparing it to what they say he allegedly did on the 6th. I was there on the 6th of January in DC. He didn't incite any kind of riot or protest. His language, his verbiage wasn't even remotely inflammatory. We know he's just been calling, the DS out since day one. So he really wasn't doing anything too different that day. So I don't know if they're just kind of, it's just more bad press for him. I'm not sure what kind of protests we can expect to see. It's certainly going to be interesting to see. And all of the eights here do imply that this is a show of force. Again, it almost looks as if this announcement or the appearance of some kind of arrest, what it would do is it would establish certain groups who have dug their heels into their respective positions. And what that does is it provides some kind of visual. And what I mean by that is that now, the true loyalists and the people that have still, they're holding very strong, they've dug their heels into what they believe the truth to be. They have now increased their visibility, not only to the enemy, but to one another, which is just as useful. Okay. So this is another almost colors. It's like colors, in game theory. They're showing each other. It's comms. They're communicating with one another as well. So let me see here. I'll protest on social media, but it's not time to hit the streets. Brady says Trump is 88 in gematria. That's very interesting. Very interesting. So let's see. Will we see an arrest of what appears to be President Donald Trump getting arrested this coming week? Uncross your legs. Strength. Oh my God, you guys, the 8. I want you to see it. There's the 8 right there. 8. So this is solar energy. It's Leo energy. It's the principle of fire. So this is very much him posturing and saying, "You want to take me? Here I am. Take me." Very much a card of valor. He's going to be super, super cool under the pressure of it all. Let's see. What he's doing is he's trying to showcase, I believe he's trying to showcase that this imagined beast, right? Because like classic rendition of this card is the woman with her hand in the lion's mouth to very potently display that through her patience, through her resourcefulness, and through her strength, because remember, this is the strength card, she was able to tame this beast. So I think by him literally putting himself into the lion's mouth, so to speak, what he's doing is he is presenting to the world that the beast can be tamed if you are brave enough to face it down. Because let's face it, these people don't have shit on him. They don't. This is all it's a show. And I think we're just at the phase right now where he finally faces down all of these charges. Okay, finally, this is it. The shot heard around the world. They're going to arrest him. But this is very much, he's not looking at any actual imprisonment or even any actual limitation. Okay. This is not registering in my cards as a genuine arrest whatsoever. So I just want to put that out there right now. Even if it appears to be, the strength card does not imply that our guy is going to be in any actual limited capacity. Ooh, we have a jumper. And the 2 of Pentacles again. Okay, so this is the juggler. 2 of Pentacles, diversion. This is Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn energy. Ooh, duh, you guys, duh. So how funny is it that there would be this major banking crisis? There is this huge upheaval within the economic ecosystem. Arrest Trump. You know what I mean? So it's like total diversion tactic. Jason Nichols, is this good or bad? You know, I'm going to tell you, I've kind of suspended my ideas of good and bad. I still have my own personal definitions of good and bad, which I think you guys all have relatively the same definition of good and bad. But for the sake of observing the Great Awakening for what it truly is and not for what I think it is or what I want it to be, I'm kind of suspending like good outcomes and bad outcomes to just as like, okay, it just is what it is. So I've just had to do that as a means of survival and adapting to the ever-changing climate of the Great Awakening, where I'm like, I can't attach my own definitions of justice or revenge or any of those things. Like, this is bigger than my ideas of those concepts. This is bigger than my opinions. So I've really just tried to keep a Jason Nichols. Yes, I love it. Is this good or bad? Yes. It's both. It's neither. So 2 of Pentacles. Let's see. I do feel like a lot of this is being done totally in conjunction with the changeover that's taking place in the banking system. So this is really just a bit of a cover for that, but they are connected. We're about hitting that point. I'm going to do a couple more minutes here, but I do want you guys to know, if you're wanting extended readings, if you're wanting to get further into this, maybe look at, what's coming up this summer. If you guys want to look closer at precious metals, all of that's going to be taking place within 5 to 10 minutes after I end the public stream here. And I'm just going to switch over to Patreon over there. By the way, interesting development. Just within the first week of the bank runs, silver has gone up about $1, over $1. So this is good if you have stacked silver for quite a while, or any precious metals. This is just a further testament that the things that we have come to believe are truly valuable, we are being made to understand, unfortunately through trauma, through hardship, that those things don't hold true value. So this whole thing could be perceived as an exercise in understanding true value. But what is life if not what is life if not for the journey of understanding what matters and what doesn't, through hardship, through trial, through error. So in that sense, I have totally suspended my ideas of good and bad, because I'm like, I guess it just is what it is. It just is what it is. So let's see here. Ooh, another jumper. I don't even know what my question was, so I don't know if I should take these. Do you guys have any questions that you want to ask? Is there anything you want to check out? How about those train derailments, train derailments. Anybody know what number we're up to with the train derailments? Up to 10, up to 12. It's a lot. It's a whole lot of muck, whole lot of gunk, messing up our water systems. Interesting that all of this would happen at a time when our water, air, food is certainly more poisoned than it has ever been. Interesting stuff. It just really kind of begs the question, like, why do we care about an arrest? And it's like, oh, we care because it implies that maybe something, it implies the next phase of this. Did we forget about the 2020 stolen election? No, we didn't. If they finally have something on the man and that requires some semblance of investigation, this would be, a mock arrest, or what appears to be an arrest would be a perfect segue into basically neutralizing and negating other charges, and I have heard a little bit of commentary about it. You guys know I like to stay in my own lane. I try not to be excuse me, inundated by anybody else's content. I really just like stick to my own thing. But I did hear somebody comment that I guess the charge in particular that he's referencing, that he's going to be indicted for, is kind of it's like a low level thing. Like, it's not very important. And this isn't the one that they want to get him on, because they're like, our case isn't even as good. And he's, so all of this is strategy. These days, I'm kind of forcing myself to pay attention to the details of the Dog and Pony Show. I do it because I realize that people want to know, and I am somewhat curious, but I really do believe there's a lot more going on behind the scenes and underneath the surface, having a lot more to do with human consciousness and what's happening kind of just outside of our spectrum of perception. I really think we're going to see a lot of rapid changes, specifically pertaining to people's interactions with the unseen. Some of you, and I'll just let you know, um, if you don't already, I guess the president or the prime minister, forgive me, Mexico, I don't know which you guys have, a leader, the leader of Mexico posted to his social media what he believed to be some kind of cryptid, something within the Mexican culture or lore. It's like a well known thing. And I thought that that was really interesting because, uh, you know, okay. Like, I love that we have officials. Um, I actually happen to like Mexico. I think that they the paranormal is quite readily openly accepted within that culture and also within the political regimes as well. They're like, no, dude, this shit's real. So I do think that we're going to see a major uptick in what I call human and non-human spillover, because I believe that what's really going on actually has everything to do with underground warfare, as well as combatives that are taking place in very strategically contained segments of the atmosphere, which you guys might think sounds crazy. I bet you a lot of you don't think that that sounds crazy, but really the war is spilling over into what I call the surface population. That's us, you, me, our people, our civilization is here on the surface, but there are civilizations below our feet, above our head, and actually all around us. And I believe that we're just at a stage in the breakdown of the synthetic structures of the matrix, for lack of a better term, that our ability to perceive these civilizations and sort of interact with the above and the below, I think it's becoming more and more evident that we're not alone here. So that's actually what personally excites me the most. That's what gets me. That's really what gets me going. Is finding a way to maybe not bridge those worlds, because I don't think that that's my job. It's more just about sharing my experience with it. I've had paranormal experiences my entire life. I don't remember a time when I didn't have paranormal experiences, hauntings, visitations, visions. It's been a constant for me. I don't. I this is my normal. So even the term paranormal is funny, but for me, it's always been my normal. And I believe that many of us that have that same backstory, where we just were born with um, some extrasensory stuff going on. And I'm not saying I'm better or that you guys are better or anything like that. I literally think that it's a function like eyesight or hearing or your ability to sing. I think that psychic perception and one's senses, extrasensory perception, may be a matter of condition. And I think it varies from person to person, possibly race to race, tribe to tribe, you name it. And I think our understanding of such phenomenon is really, we're just scratching the surface with it now. But that's the stuff that really excites me. Cryptids are fallen angels. No, they're not. I mean, that's a cool theory, but that's not. So cryptids covers a wildly expansive group. Some beings within what we could class as cryptids may be considered, the fallen angels. That particular group, that consciousness there. But cryptids is far too wide of a classification to call them all fallen angels. This space is a whole lot older than most people think that it is. And a lot of these things have been here since the birth of this realm, and they'll be here long after humans have um, sort of gone on that journey alongside her. So, and it's fascinating stuff. I don't claim to, I'm not the all knowing authority on it. Okay. So I'm not trying to sit here and be like, you guys don't know what you're talking about, or I know everything. It ain't that simple. And I certainly don't. Um, and if I don't know something, I'm going to tell you I don't know. Um, but yeah, so I really, I think we're going to see some really interesting stuff going on with the water. You guys have heard me talk about the primal waters, the primary waters, not the primal, primary waters. If you guys haven't checked it out yet, go ahead and check out primarywaters.org. Fascinating information, all factual. They discovered all of this water that has not been born yet. They have come to the factual conclusion that this planet creates water within herself. So the idea that water is this substance that can be monopolized by global corporations is asinine. It's preventable, and it would be absolutely devastating if we allowed that to happen. So, water, okay, the primary waters. That's been. I just trust my instincts. I trust my intuition, and that's where my guides, my higher self, have